jungle, possibly for the Alchemist, where he's gonna farm. They have good ways of protecting it with the Earth Spirit, like
They do.
Puck is a good hero to just rotate.
I mean, even Dragon Knight is pretty good there too.
Sure, he needs to be level 6.
Yeah, Grimstroke also one of the best fighters there.
I'll go with Omega as well. I think
I feel like
it's a
Black
good
twisted
Alchemist
your
game.
arm into this one. you going Omega?
I was like,
Yeah,
"Woo-loo-loo."
Like, this thing's happening, this
No,
thing's
I
happening.
was thinking, you know, this position for Tiny, I just don't feel this is the role for the hero.
I'm down for Omega because I like the Alchemist. I think that it's going to be a little bit too difficult for Lilgun to deal with, but they proved me wrong in game number 2, beating that core IO. Let's see what happens in game number 3 with our casters MLP and John X Fire.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are officially here for the deciding game between the side of Lilgun and Omega Esports. Of course, game number 3. He does pull this one off, and an immediate smoke up here from Lilgun, which is very nice to see. Of course, I'm here once again with John Expired. John, welcome back, sir. How you doing?
Doing great, Mike. You know, we've got a pretty great time here. Game 3 coming out. Lilgun managing to force that second game. A really different set of drafts coming through here. The Puck sliding through for Smart Omega, going for the last pick Alk as well. Lilgun going back to the support combo of Tiny, Lion, and as you heard from the panel, Tiny on the support. Probably not the best spot for it right now. I think the bigger issue is when you have a Lion 5, you've got 2 supports fighting for blink timings. Right, like the Lion needs a blink and maybe an Aether Lens just to have that max potential out, and you don't get enough space on a 5 Lion when you've got a 4 Tiny. So we're gonna have to see what Lilgun does to relieve that pressure, and if they can start hunting down this Alk. Like Tino Alk is also one of his comfort heroes. Way back when, BTS Pro Series 4 or 5, Tino loved the Alk and the Io, so it's another comfort pick for him. If he manages to get that farm up, the hero could still bounce back and still have a lot of farm to play with.
As you know very well, John, this could be a very depressing game for me, as we do see the Earth Spirit in this game. And, you know, I don't know what Earth Spirit did to deserve nerfs, but he got a lot of nerfs, John. Made me very, very sad. You keep telling me we can play core Earth Spirit now with the damage bonus at level 10, but I continue to tell you it's garbage. And I'm yet to see it.
Hey, Yopaj plays it mid, okay? So
Yeah, I mean, but that's that's our idol, John. Of course he plays at mid.
that's fair. Still, we'll see how much Shanks can get out here. Already kind of sneaking around the jungle, hooking back. Bot, you do see our mid matchup just for a bit. You've got Mac on that Puck up against Sanctity on the TA. Should be fairly even. You can kind of try to zone out the Puck, but the Puck has the orb to toss out, has good mobility to secure those initial runes as well if they want to really scuffle over it. And as mentioned, Sanctity, I mean, you do want bottles on mid every single time, but it will stall out the timing for your initial itemization into the Desolator, so, and even the Wraith Band, so you're going to have to watch yourself there. If you do commit, you have to get the max value on that TA.
Well, he's taking a fair bit of damage right now, Sanctity. Mac trying to be extremely aggressive. In fact, it might be a first blood, Sanctity.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Not a great start for the TA. Already going down to Mac at level 1. And now you're going to have an XP advantage on Mac, which is going to feel pretty bad for Sanctity.
Yeah, that's not good signs. I mean, the Puck is a hard hero to lane against, but not something you'd expect to immediately take over on level 1, so Sanctity's going to have to watch that spacing and try not to bleed out anymore. Like, if Mac is just allowed to overtake this lane with that EXP advantage, it's going to be hard to recover against the Puck.
And it is. Should have a look at the other lanes as well. Bot lane, as you see, a bit of an initiation there onto the Earth Spirit. Meanwhile, top lane, Marvel, is also getting extremely low, and, well, there are going to be kills happening across the map. The Marvel does die. Of course, bot lane, nothing really panned out there. It was just a bit of harassment out onto Shanks. Speaking of Shanks, he's trying to go into Ace 12 now, but with a DK off lane, you don't have really that much synergy, I feel like, until you have a few levels up on the DK. Sure, you can set up for the rolling boulder with the Dragon Tail, but it looks like for now they are just going to sit back and relax.
It's a difficult lane for Smart Omega to be aggressive in. Like, it's 2 melee heroes up against 2 ranged. Your setup for the Earth Spirit's pretty much a melee stun as well. So it's not like you can gap close onto 1, 2, 3 and just force him out of a bad spot. And that should mean our Leshrac rides smoothly here. You're already seeing 1, 2, 3 on top of the last hits. You can hit him with the fire, the breed fire here, but the damage reduction doesn't do anything against Lesh. Like, you just play with Split Earth, Edict, and you still have a great time finding creeps.
Another Earth Spike out, and they have caught Shanks. He's going to try and kick away 1, 2, 3, and he will be fine as Sam H now. He's going to go right back onto Ace 12, but the Breathe Fire is not going to prove to be enough damage. We'll be able to salve up back in onto Shanks, but they missed the Earth Spike. Should be just fine to get himself out, and of course now we can look at the top lane, which is the one lane we haven't really talked about. We've got Tino and CML there up against Marvel. Of course, Marvel will have his position for Tiny, being played by Hishi. Just going for a large camp bull, but Marvel playing with fire here onto CML. There's going to be a follow-up stun to the Inkswell. He shouldn't really, or maybe he will. Stroke of Fate doesn't connect, which allows Marvel to get himself out. This looks to be another pretty difficult lane, at least for Lilgun at this top side, where Tino can get a bit aggressive with CML, and with the Inkswell and follow-up stun from Tino, it can be a substantial amount of damage.
They're not really doing enough to stop Tino from finding farm as well. Like, without the threat of kills, Tino just goes in, drops his acid spray, clears out camp, clears out the wave. You are durable here as the Underlord, but the minus armor from acid spray just makes it very unfavorable to trade. And if Hishki, as a melee support, stays in that acid spray as well, and he has no armor, so you're just not trading favorably at all.
No, certainly not. Spot lane, Earth Spike, not quite out in time onto Shanks. It's going to be just fine. Still, X123 having a pretty decent time with the Leshrac so far, farming up nicely, and we've seen this pretty much every game throughout this series. Both position ones just more than happy to farm as CML. Nice toss away. Tino now is going to be kind of just forced to stun himself. Luckily for him, he's an alchemist and he can still farm with acid spray while he's stunned up, so no problems there for Tino.
Yeah, and Tino's just having such a great time. 32-6, really efficient for the jungle camps and bolts as well. They do have good damage
Avalanche
here.
toss. CML should drop. Salve up is going to be enough to survive, and now the turnaround with the Inkswell and the Unstable Concoction. They'll be the ones to kill off Hishji. Unfortunately for the Tiny, he gets nothing as they roll in for more now. Marvel is in a spot of danger, but they don't seem to have the damage output. Without those stuns, Marvel will be safe, be able to stick in the lane and just survive.
Yeah, but it's still tough, right? Like, you're not dying, but...
Yeah, they roll in again. Marvel still going to be just fine. They don't really have the damage output. That's what I mean, John. The Earth Spirit just not that strong. Didn't really need a nerf as bot lane. Onto the DK they go. Sam H. Diabolic Deed going to be there, but it is not going to be enough. Sam H. going to be okay to back himself out. Looks like he is left to solo this off lane though, so does have to be very careful on that DK.
Yeah, he's at level 5 now though, and 123 did go for Edict build, so the damage he does is kind of reduced, although.
Marble, top lane again. They're going to try this time around, and well, this time he should be dead. And they do get him. However, down at the bot lane, Ace 12 actually also drops. Looks like Matt made a nice little rotation there on the park and does at least get himself a support pickup.
They're just finding everything right now in Omega Sand.
Uh-oh.
5-0 and
They hadn't used Coil. They found the Leshrac. X123. He's going to go down. There's one thing we always say about Leshracs, John, but they can't really afford to die too many times. Otherwise, they just kind of turn into a creep.
Yeah, it's still a really good start for the Lesh, but their aggression in that lane just doesn't pan out. You don't want to jump to Dragon Knight with this kind of build. Like, Edict is still great, but level 3 Dragon Blood just mitigates a lot of that damage output because it's physical. So Sam H just gets to live through a ton of that, and now he's got Falcon Blade up in this lane. He's going to be able to pressure that tier 1 bot as well, and there's not much you can do now for Lilgun. Like, they're walking back into lane. You saw some space down mid for Sanctity to shove into tier 1, but even that damage wasn't significant, and Tino just comes in. He can start going to the jungle now. They've got some room here for the Grimstroke to soak some EXP and some farm up. And there's no punishment yet coming out from Lilgun for this kind of early play from Omega.
No, there is not. They're going to try now onto Tino. Avalanche toss is there. It's not really going to do much though. He's just fine to continue farming that jungle. They will at least take the stacks away from him, which is going to help, of course, just amplifying the TA's farm a little bit. But overall, Tino, of course, going to hold on to that net worth lead. As bot lane, they are going to try and go on to Sam H. They get the follow-up stone with the Split Earth, and now the Pulse Nova and Diabolic Edict is all going on to Sam H. He is a tanky DK, but perhaps not tanky enough, as he should eventually die and does finally go down. But now the turnaround, Tino is there with the Unstable Concoction and the Inkswell. It will all land on Ace 12. 1x123. Kind of saves the day there with the Split Earth, and they will be able to escape just fine.
Still timely movement out from Tino. He can start farming down the bot lane. They can look to shove that to the bot tier 1. It's fairly low now. That does give some space out on Marvel up top to just sort of free farm on the Underlord. But it's definitely not too bad here for the side of Omega. Like Tino, he can just go back into the triangle instead, where they are protected with a nice Obs ward. There's no deep wards here from Lilgun yet, so the Alchemist can just go back to this farming game and build up into that Battle Fury.
Mid lane, Hishji. Kind of having a gander here at Shanks, looking for a toss back, but the kick away is there. Still, he got the avalanche into the toss now, into X123. He's just going to melt. So will that tier 1 mid tower. No problems here for Lilgun. With that mid tier 1 opened up, that's one of the better ways to just counter out the Alchemist, is start overtaking the jungle that he wants to farm in. Tino, he's going to have to farm a bit faster if Lilgun do start to invade.
It's shrinking a bit, that map. There's more options here for Lilgun to be aggressive. They do have the supports to back up that aggression. There is a smoke out here from Smart Omega, though. They've got Dream Coil ready to go on Mac. They're going to try to look for a pick-off to compensate for losing.
They are down towards the bot side, where they have started. Sam Edge did already throw out the Dragon Tail, and now might just go for the dive on the tier 1 tower. He's kind of forcing History to come back in, and that's not going to work out for the Tinies. He has been caught out by the Dream Coil and kicked away right back into Mac. Nice little pickup. And of course, while that was happening, the top tier 1 was being focused down by Lilgun. It will be a direct kind of trade between those tier 1 towers.
Yeah, you're still happy for Lilgun here. You're up 2 towers. You've got really good control in that jungle. Look at all the wards here from Lilgun, just keeping track of the top jungle, ensuring that Tino's stuck on just the triangle to farm up. And that can slow down the pace of the Elk. You're getting some good progress here on Sanctity as well. Blink Dagger almost up on TA. That will help speed up your farm in the jungle if you want to do that, and can really help you set up for some kills if you find a good Avalanche Toss target as well. So you are lining up here on Lilgun. You've got the finger ready to go on Ace. They'll probably look for a smoke play relatively soon to get that spell on cooldown.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Another bit of a lull period here, but it is a 2-7 for Omega. Still just a 1k net worth lead, so Tino definitely not getting out of control yet. He's slowly but surely getting that Battle Fury up now on the Elk. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, looks like they are going to get started onto Ace 12. They have got the Lion controlled up with Sam H, and they'll even roll in. CML will be the one to take the kill there on the Grimstroke. A nice little support pickup on that Lion, and it kind of goes back to what you said earlier, John. You were mentioning the fact that both the Tiny and the support Lion are both going to be trying to farm up that Blink ASAP. But just judging by the way that they've been dying, it's going to be a while until they have those blinks up. In fact, they're going to roll in again onto X123 now, and that's a much bigger target. With all the stuns out, they get the kill very easily. Back in onto the Tiny History. He really has no way out. He's trying to wait out the duration, and they'll go back in onto Shanks, but he will die onto the TA. Sanctity and Ace 12 with the finger will at least kill off Shanks on the Earth Spirit, but the Magnetizer is still going into the Breathe Fire. Sam H, he'll get the kill. Back in onto the Lion, they'll find another. They just keep going. Marvel, he's trying to fight back on the Underlord, but it's just no good. He just can't do anything for his team. X123. He might just find CML here, but he might also be surrounded again. CML's going to run his way out. X123, he does at least get the kill, but it's not worth his life. It's just nowhere near worth it, and naturally Sam H gives him the tip, says thank you very much for that free kill.
It's just way too much to deal with. They might catch out Shanks.
I mean, they may. He's going to try and roll. He did not go for the kick forward. Marvel will get kicked away now, and Sanctity, he doesn't have the damage. You're going to Blink Dagger first on this TA, and it doesn't really amp your damage at all.
Is under attack.
It really doesn't, and for Lilgun right now, at least under cores, especially on Sanctity, he just has to sit back, farm up. They've given a lot of space out here for Smart Omega. Look at Tino, 8.9k, 9k gold, now 4k above the TA. All this time they've been forcing fights, Tino's just free farming. And this is the one target you do not want to allow free farm. Even if they lost their top and mid tier ones, Lilgun has not been able to use that to bully out Yalk, and that's just bad news. You're just letting this guy free farm, he's got the Battle Fury up, and it just gets worse from there.
X1, 2, 3, getting kicked right out of there, and Mac will take another kill. Ishji is trying to hide in the tree line, misses the avalanche, but will at least get Shanks. But he's not quite out of the fire yet, as Ishji turned right back around for a second, but Mac is a committed man and does ensure he gets the kill on towards the left side. They'll try to Sam H, but he's just so tanky. This DK is not going to die anytime soon. Ace, he's sticking around. I'm not sure about that. He'll cop the Dragon Tail stun, and Mac will come in to clean up. They'll roll in, and they'll get another kill. Sam H will take it as Shanks. He's going to die to the tier 2 tower. But you've got to be happy if you're a Mega.
Oh, you're really pleased. Like, you're getting so much farm, you're winning out these trades for Protect 1 in your playstyle as well. And Tino, he's already got the Sanchop, going straight to BKB. He's going to be joining these fights relatively soon. Sanctity, with the Blink, he just can't burst anyone down. He's still saving up for the Desolator. He's still looking for the first Mythful Hammer. And it's just way too much time to wait for. Look at the positioning of Smart Omega. They're just in that bot jungle, constantly forcing fights. They're looking for more.
Mac trying to go in on there onto Hishji. They do spot him out eventually with the Stroke of Fate, and well, for the Tiny, there's nowhere to really go. He'll try to pretend he's a tree, but it doesn't really pan out in his favor. Onto the bot lane now, Omega, looking very confident.
Top tower is under attack.
In fact, Sanctity is going to find Shanks on the ES. They get the constant stuns out, and they will kill off the Earth Spirit. It's like Omega, they've TP'd up top to try and make sure this tier 2 top tower remains alive. There's Lilgun, they're going to just try and wrap around and look for some kind of target. They might just run into Mac, but Mac has spotted them out, and now Sam H goes right in onto the Underlord. Mac is still trying to chase down the line. And CML, he's just standing there taking all the damage from this TA. He will die, but they do jump in. They might just get the TA in time, no. The Dark Rift was there. And everyone does get out freely on Lilgun. So all things being said and done, not too bad. But it was a lot of time committed to just kill off CML. And that tier 2 top tower does still stand.
I mean, they expend the finger as well. At this point, you'll take what you can get in terms of kills, but it's still not the ideal situation. Smart Omega might have found a kill if Mac's initial Dream Coil landed. He did miss that 1-on-1-2 tree, so they miss out on an opportunity on the Lush. But right now, you're still very happy. 1-2 Tree's farm has just been on the backseat. It's all flowing out towards Sanctity. He's got some good stacks to clear out. The Desolator just one Mythful Hammer away, about 1,000 gold, so not too much time left to wait. And you do have at least a couple of the Blinks lining up here. I believe our Tiny Blink is flying in, and that's a sign for them to smoke up. Lion Blink just about 700 to 800 gold off, so you are starting to hit some spikes here for Lilgun.
And that they are. And off they go, Lilgun. Where are they heading to? They're going to try for the Roshan, perhaps. I think it's a little bit early for that, but I guess you could try and sneak it. They're going to go into the jungle instead now. Meanwhile, mid lane, Sam H. Thought about jumping in onto Marvel, but doesn't quite find the initiation. And they'll smoke up themselves now. Omega. Where are we headed? Are they going to try for the Roshan? No. Right into the Dire jungle they go.
Dire's structures are fortified.
That tier 2 tower again, which is being forced in, but they do get the glyph off. They want to target first. They want to go straight onto the TA, but they found X1, 2, 3 instead. But that's still a great target. on the left track into the double silence of Shanks. Is it going to be enough? Mac is dropping low. It will be a 1-for-1. They lost both mid laners, but now Tino, he can get to work right onto Marvel. And Marvel, he's really not that tanky right now as Shanks will even find another on the tail end. They found the Tiny, and that'll be his G gone. A 3-for-1 trade. They do at least kill off Mac on the puck, but it's just not going to feel worthwhile.
No,
And they're looking for more. Sam H, he's not done. On to Ace 12, the Lion. Ace. He's going to get spotted. Sam H gets the stun off in time, and of course Shanks can just kind of perma-stun him now. That'll be enough, Sam H. He'll pick up another.
Yeah, it's a really great start. You're starting to see some really good itemization here from Smart Omega as well. The Halberd being queued up by Sam H, and also being finished up by Tino. That means your TA, the investment you have on that hero, with these two Halberds up, it's not going to do much anymore in the middle of these fights if you're not careful.
We just saw History trying to go for an avalanche toss onto Tino, and I think Tino may have thought he was on a trampoline there for a second. It just did nothing. He's having a great old time, Tino. I mean, Lilgun, with this draft, we know how strong it can be, but it doesn't look great right now. And when you're 11k net worth behind, it is very hard to make this kind of draft work. Now Omega, I mean, they're moving into the mid lane. They want more pickoffs. They want that mid tier 2 tower, but Lilgun, nobody's showing quite yet.
I mean, they've got complete control here on the side of Smart Omega. 8-21, a 10k lead. Even with an Alk, you see the farm distribution. It's not like they've shafted Mac and Sam H. Both of them are still keeping the farm quite well. Sanctity is the one that's really hurt here. There's just not enough map room to really get up. Like, he needs that BKB in order to really stand in front.
Coils out. They found the big one, Sanctity. He was just showing for a second. They are going to punish him immediately. Great patience there from Omega. Of course, the tip's out from Sam H, letting Mac know he's done a great job. And he is, John. A lot of impact here from this mid puck, and it looks like they're ready for that Roshan pit.
Yeah, I mean, they can melt it really fast. They've got the damage for it. The options for team fighting for Lilgun in there are not amazing. They can maybe try to go for an avalanche toss play with a pit. Looks like they are starting to plump up for that. They know the Rosh is get there faster.
I mean, a lot faster. They're going to try and wrap around the long way, but it's hard to know how you initiate without your TA being up. They're going to try Marvel. He's going to walk his way in, but this could be a really bad idea because he's going to run right into the arms of Tino, and Tino will just get right to work because they even found the Tiny. Ishchi, see you later, sir. Back into the Roshan pit they go. For Omega, it was just a bit of a distraction.
Yeah, and that's just really good spacing out from Shanks to break the smoke. It leads into a massive kill, and they could get chasing Sanctity.
Well, they found another Sanctity. He doesn't want to die immediately, but he has no choice. It's a tough game for Lilgun. They're trying to find any space they can to keep up, but the map's just being controlled. I don't even know what they can do at this point to try and come back in this game.
They need to wait for BKB on the TA, maybe wait out the blink on your Lion. Ace is relatively close. He's been trying to inch his way towards that blink, and you really need that in that support Lion just to be able to get control on the heroes you want. So a little bit more patience from Lilgun. There's not much room to farm. They could maybe try to play around with a Leshrac instead. Like 1-2-3 is fairly strong. We'll need a BKB of his own to truly just stand in front and deal the damage out, but right now, the way they're coming in for Lilgun, it's just kind of way too scattered. Like, you walk in with Marvel, it's not ideal. You really just need those two supports to work in conjunction, rip off the backline, or maybe take control of Mac on the puck before he can control you up with his Dream Coil and all his spells and silences.
We do see a smoke up here. X123, he has his smoke broken, he sees Tino, and he runs the other way. That is definitely not the target you want to go on right now. Not while he has his team around him, and there's going to be a counter smoke immediately now by Omega. Oh, and I'm afraid Sanctity might kind of go into an awkward position if he's not too careful, but no, he looks like he's fine. He does avoid Omega. Omega instead are going to go right for that mid-tier 2 tower instead. Which is also a pretty good option, considering they are going to get it for free.
Yeah, it's a relatively quick take. Lilgun just kind of playing in that top jungle, finding what farm they can get. They're not really in a good position to defend that. They're probably just going to have to give out some outer towers when the challenge comes out and just keep farming. BKB, Sanctity still 2 parts away. Ace is only about 50 gold away from his blink, so maybe you get more opportunities with a line blink up. Until then, you're just kind of stuck playing this farm game. AC now up on Tino. He's gotten control of that triangle with the rest of his team, and he's just really hard to deal with. Now, the one bright side here for Lilgun is there's no Abyssal Blink. So even if you go for that build here on the Alp, he's not going to jump you straight away, but just even having the Blink Dagger is usually more than enough.
Oh, bot lane. Not like this. X123. He's doing the hard job of pushing out the side lane, but it's going to cost him his own life. Still mid lane, they might try to initiate now, even though X123 is gone. The only problem is they are still there, Omega. As a team, they're going to try and focus down CML. He is still alive, still running away. They just can't kill him. He'll turn around now with the ink swap, but the tree toss will be enough, but at what cost? Tishy still being chased down on the Tiny. Dark Rift is there. Can he get him out? He can. So they do at least get CML. That's going to be it, though. They got the support Grimstroke, but that's really all they can afford to get.
It's just counting your blessings at this point, Lilgun. They're just forced into really awkward situations. They are smoked up. They do want to find an angle, and maybe they'll find it. They still have Finger up at the very least, but it's level 1.
Look on to Shanks. It's a much easier target. Just aim down the Earth Spirit, and that's exactly what they do. It does feel like it's one of those games right now for Lilgun where they just kind of have to accept any kill they can get, and well, they find another, and it's going to make them feel a little bit safer across the map. They're just going to use this free time now to just keep farming up and just try and catch up, as CML is going to run in with the Inkswell and die again.
You do not even grasp.
All right now, Omega, no need to give freebies away to Lilgun. I know they're ahead, but they're not necessarily that far ahead.
Well, yeah, 20k up, I think you're still fairly happy for Omega. Your supports are the ones dying, and Lilgun isn't in a position to follow up from killing supports. Like, they've got some good vision here on the dark jungle. They could maybe look to be aggressive, but they're not really in position to follow up. So you're just going to be sitting back and kind of just farming up in that downtime. Smart Mega is going to enjoy that greatly. The Swift Blink is being saved up here by Tino. He's just about 600 gold off, and that item is still fairly balanced. They only removed one aspect of it with the move speed, but beyond that, it's still ridiculous. So hey, Tino is going to be perfectly balanced once he has that up, if he isn't already.
I do like myself some perfect balance, John.
Dire are
Tino
scanning.
needs to be a little bit cautious here up at this top lane. He's thinking about going to farm that wave, but he knows they're waiting. Now the roll in, Shanks. Blanche going to cancel that off, and well, Marvel will get the Uber started. Get him right out of there. Omega won't be able to capitalize off that positioning from Lilgun. I suppose Lilgun, they're just kind of trying to drag out the time and just buy a bit more time. For Sanctity on that TA, and of course X123. Is it going to pay off, is what I wonder.
The BKBs are lining up. Sanctity almost has his, so does 123. So you're going to have spell immunity, but the Ags for Mac isn't too far off. It's just about, I don't know, 1.8k gold here, 1.6k gold until his Ags is up. So even with those BKBs, you're going to have the Dream Coil piercing through. Never pleasant for any hero that just insta-buys the BKB, and the timing's just not perfect. And that's something Smart Mega can abuse. But still, if the puck's not in the picture and you have the BKBs, there are opportunities for Sanctity and 123 to kind of try and burst down the Alp. Like, it's really hard with the AC up on Tino. Just has so much armor that even the Desolator TA might not feel like it does much. But this is probably your best opportunity while the Ags isn't done on Mac. And there's only a very small window until that item's up and running on the puck.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Omega.
Radiant's top tower is under
Start
attack.
moving into the top tier 2 tower there. Tino will get started. No contest either. Lilgun just gonna let it go down, but I think Omega might just keep going. Feels like there's nothing to really be afraid about here for them as Sam H jumps right in onto Marvel. Now the roll connecting as well from Shanks with the Inkswell. They just lock him down forever. He is trying to get himself out, but he just can't. Onto X123 with the BKB. He is also trying to fight back, but Tino, he is just such a monster. He runs right into them, and that's Ace 12 gone. He'll buy it back on the Lion.
Radiant structures are fortified.
But now the BKBs have worn off. How do you deal with this Alchemist? Well, it looks like Tina's going to have his Chemical Rage wearing off anyway, so he's going to back off for a bit. The BKBs don't really feel like they made much of a difference that team fight for Lilgun.
Yeah, not quite the impact you're looking for. You're still holding on to Sanctity's BKB. Hasn't used that first charge just yet, so still has the full 9-second duration now. But it's still dicey, right? Like, the Ags here for Mac is pretty much done. Just 200 gold away. Once he clears out this creep plus, just this creep wave, he's already got the Ags ready to go if he wants to buy it out, and he will. So you've got that BKB piercing stun now. BKB piercing control, and if the BKBs felt useless last time, they're really not going to feel that great now. It's just too much on the side of Smart Omega, and just back into the high ground.
Off we go. Tino will get started. Inkswell there immediately onto Tino in case he wants to initiate, but won't. Instead, the backlines, they will go straight in onto the Tiny, who is trying to get something done, but it's not really going to work out. He'll buy it back onto X123 and Sanctity, and they are just melting right now. They'll try to BKB and run away. In fact, they'll turn around now and maybe go for a fight, but the Uber out, they have left the building. Sam H, he's very low in terms of HP, but they need someone to hit him.
Oh, it's not enough.
It is not enough. They went out a bit too early with the Dark Rift. And now Tino, well, he's run out of Chemical Rage, so maybe he dies, and he does. So it eventually does work out for them. CML on the run, tries for the TP play, and is not going to make it. Sanctity able to get the kill. And I thought that Dark Rift may have been slightly earlier there from Marvel, but in the end, it works out. They will hold high ground, and they can continue playing this game without any super creeps.
And they did have to buy back, and that buyback in Sanctity is pretty big. If they lose the next fight, they're not going to have very good options for the defense. They are setting up for Roche. That could be big. There's no Alk for 40 seconds. So second Roche of the game, you've got the Ag Shard inside there, and Aegis and Cheese, of course. It gives more options for Lilgun to try to find opportunities here, but they are scanned out. It still drops too quick.
And it does.
Radiant's courier has
It's easy
been
Roshan there for Lilgun. Back to in the triangle now. It's like inside Lilgun just gonna hang out, just get more farm up.
You do have the shard given here to 123, so the Split Earth can kind of combo a lot nicer with Pit of Malice. You can basically just chain stun on the side of Lilgun as long as Omega doesn't pop BKBs, and well, they only really have the BKB running on Tino right now. No BKB on Sam H, no BKB on Mac, so there's a lot of potential to get some good chain control here and rip off the squishier targets of Omega before focusing down Tino. Could be the way to play it, as they are smoked up here.
They're gonna try. Chemical Rage is up, Tino. How fast can you react with that blink? Ace gonna see himself. No, he blinks the wrong way. He blinks right into them. The finger's out. Maybe they can get it done in time. Tino, he could not heal fast enough. And now Shanks, he's gonna be the one in danger. He will just roll away, but that attack is following him down, and it's not gonna be enough. Now a 4-man coil to lock them in. Maybe they can get something done with this, but no, it does wear off. Back in onto Sam H. He's a tanky DK. He's gonna try and fight back. Back onto the Tiny. Mac, he's going to be able to escape. I can't say the same for his Shi, or maybe I can. He is backing off. Sam H, meanwhile, dying to the Pulse Nova, trying to survive. They keep going in onto the DK. They will finally take him down. Now it's on the CML, who tries to TP up. They had the vision with the TA trap, and they will get another. My goodness, the turnaround here from Lilgun. And you know what, John? They're not really looking too bad. Omega, maybe just getting a little bit overly confident in this game number 3, is starting to make a few positioning mistakes. and it is costing them.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's just being too far forward here with Tino. It's always a bit of a risk. They've got to respect the control and damage coming through from Lilgun. It still is great. Tino, you know, if he doesn't get the BKB off in time, he's just stuck. So they have to be ready to back him up. They don't have the best saving supports here. The Dispel on the Grimstroke is delayed, of course, until the Inkswell pops. So it's not quick enough to bail out your Alk, and that does mean Tino's going to have to watch his positioning a bit better. Lilgun, they need to do that maybe one more time. I mean, a 19k, 18k gap sounds big, but you've kind of closed the gap with a puck, and that's really the one here that's kind of overtaking. If you can just ensure all your other cores are farmed more than puck and just behind the Alk, then the farm advantage of the Alchemist starts to feel less and less as the game goes on, because, you know, you have this massive lead now, but that's only equal to, what, 1 or 2 items at that point, and that's not impossible for Lilgun to play against. You've got a lot of room to grow here on Sanctity. He is saving up for his MKB. Should be done in just about 600 gold. Once you have that, well, you're going to be able to rip through the Alk a lot easier, rip through the DK a lot easier as well. And even 1-2-3, opting for the Octarine, it's going to be so hard to kill off this Leshrac as long as he gets his spells off with a BKB. The heal he's going to get from his damage is just a lot, especially if Omega keeps plumping up his 5, which they tend to really do, and it just gives so many opportunities for Lilgun to play without AoE control, to play with the Earth Split spam that the shards on 1-2-3 does give them on Leshrac as well.
Top lane. Oh, X123, he's been called up. He'll pop the BKB, but that is an Aghanim Scepter Dream Coil, so he stuns himself up through it. They are trying to Dark Rift in, but it's too late. In fact, they are still going to commit for this. Sanctity, he's here with his Underlord. I'm not sure about this one. Marvel, he's taking a lot of damage, and the buyback was there by X123, so they're going to try and fight this one out. They will at least get Shanks, but Ace is down the line, and now you can just get to work if you're Tino. He finds 2 immediately. X123 with this buyback, he can't help out. The BKB TP away from Sanctity is going to be enough to at least get him out after the Aegis life. That Dark Rift, you know, it was just a little bit off, and you're going to see it right here. The Aghanim Scepter Dream Coil break, obviously stunning him through the BKB, and I thought they may just cancel the Rift off, but they decided to keep going.
And they force the issue, and they get punished for it hard. Lilgun overstepping their bounds. They don't have Aegis anymore. It was going to expire in about 20 seconds anyway, so not the biggest loss, but they're going to have to hold high ground up like this with lower BKBs. The Valve's got to be careful now. The racks are open on top lane at the very least.
Omega not going to have the dragon form right now as they just used it. Sam H still more than happy to just frontline for the team. Slowly but surely they'll get through that melee barracks. There it goes. Now Dreamcore to the right side. They've killed off Ace. Lion just gone immediately thanks to Mac on the puck. Meanwhile, Sam H is still just hitting towers, but a nice toss back. Might be able to set up, but it'll BKB immediately. Just run right out as Tino's going to jump right back in with the Inkswell onto the Leshrac. He's going to be alright for now. X123 is going to try and fight this one out. The Dark Rift, it was cancelled off, but it was too late anyway. They could not save the Tiny. Now Sam H, he's right back in onto the Leshrac. X123, he's in trouble. But Sam H, he's the one to go down first. The Yule saving the life of the Leshrac in onto the Underlord. Marvel has no choice but to dive. 4 heroes down without buyback. And I suppose now they can just go high ground again.
They can just rip through the next set of racks. There's no other heroes for at least 20 seconds, and even then your other cores are like 60 seconds, 80 seconds away, so a minute off. That's enough time to just melt these objectives. It's going to be a hard one to hold up against. Maybe once you have your Tiny Lion, Sanctity can look for the angles. Like with the MKB, he does hit hard. Just doesn't feel like it's hard enough.
Shanks may have rolled into his death, or maybe not. They get the Dragon Tail stun off in time, and now Sanctity in big danger. They'll try to help him, but there's no helping the TA. No buyback on Sanctity either, as he did have to buy back earlier on. And I believe that'll be GG here for Omega, unless history can make a miracle happen on this Tiny, but
fallen.
Doesn't look like that's going to happen. He's going to try and wrap around, but the Ancient is halfway gone. They'll now buy back Sanctity. He has it available again. They'll burst down CML, but Sanctity, he's been jumped again with the Dream Call and the Dragon Tail. Tino just hitting the Ancient. He does not care about heroes anymore. He will just finish off the game, and that'll be Omega Esports taking this series 2-1. And with that, John, we are going to be able to head straight back to the panel to see what they thought about this game number 3.
Omega Esports end up taking game number 3, and thus the series proving which of these lower division promotions were the superior one. But it was still a 3-game series, respect to both teams, but Omega...